sellers and buyers. So just a friendly reminder, broker compensation can no longer be listed on the MLS. It's important for buyers and their agents to have a formal representation agreement that includes buyer agent compensation. And keep in mind, there have been some changes to the open house rules. So, hi, it's Laura Hooks of SoCalLivingwithLaura, a realtor with Big Block Realty here in Oceanside, San Diego, California, with my lending partner and colleague, Douglas Fujikawa of Cross Country Mortgage, to talk to you today about all the new changes to real estate due to the NAR settlement. We are filming from this beautiful single-family residence home here in Oceanside, California at 5613 Golden Trails Way. So stay tuned to the end where I give a home tour. So thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come help me again.
My pleasure. Thanks for asking, as always. I got to say, a lot of questions I've been getting, and I'm sure you as well, just about what does this NAR settlement, how does it affect specifically buyers? I mean, I talk to more buyers than sellers, but I know that there's been there's just some uncomfortableness, some anxiety about, real estate commissions. How does it affect me? How does this affect buyers' closing costs and all of that? And I know that it's just constantly moving right now. We don't necessarily have all of the answers. We are, at the time of this filming, 4 days, I guess, into the new rules.
Still trying to figure it out ourselves.
Right? So, but I think a common question, I think what a lot of buyers maybe want to hear from us, or specifically from you, is like, has this really changed a lot? I mean, we get that we don't know what the changes are going to be in the future here, but, what does it look like today? I mean, it seems like to me maybe there's more forms and buyers have to be more careful about, who they're choosing to work with and so on and so forth. And it's more of a formal relationship, whereas traditionally on the buyer side it maybe hasn't been as formal. But, real estate, it's always, my understanding, it's always been about, agency relationships and agreements. I don't know. Right.
Yeah, I get a lot of those questions. What does it mean for me? What if I don't have, the extra money to pay you as my agent? How does that work out? And maybe that shied people away from the current real estate market as it is, especially with interest rates the way they are. It's making people maybe second guess, but I've always said knowledge is power. So that's what we're doing today, is trying to give a little bit extra light onto what the changes mean and what they mean for you as either a buyer or a seller. So let's dive in.
Let's dive in.
Okay, so first off, listing brokers are no longer placing a buyer's agent compensation amount on the MLS. So the multiple listing service, MLS, is where agents list homes for sale, which then is syndicated to all the real estate websites like Realtor.com, Zillow, Homes.com, and the hundreds of more sites that are out there. So listing agents are allowed to list compensation on their business websites, their social media, marketing materials, just not in the MLS. So buyers and buyer agents will have to do a little extra digging to see if the seller is going to be offering compensation to a buyer's agent / broker. All buyers now are required to have a buyer representation and broker compensation agreement in place before they can go tour homes. So in the past, many brokerages did not require this to work with buyers, but now it's mandatory. It simply states that each person's duties and responsibilities are to each other. And it also states that buyers are responsible now to pay a negotiated compensation to their agent when their transaction closes, just like a listing agreement for sellers. So if buyers do not have funds to pay for their agent, the buyer can ask the seller to provide compensation to the buyer's agent when writing the purchase offer. So the seller has the option to agree or not to allow a concession.
So let me ask you this, Laura. So because this sounds like they're just kind of cleaning up. They're just kind of cleaning up some of the gray or blurry details on the buyer representation side. Right now, it sounds like because you've got this buyer representation agreement, now everybody understands what their role is, right? What I take from this is they're trying to minimize the gray areas. I mean, I think at this point in time, buyers are going to be better served, because of this agreement.
I do. I think both buyers and agents will be better served with it. And so the Department of Justice decided they wanted to put these new rules in, and now I feel like, well, now it's a little bit more confusing than it's ever been, but we're working through it. But yeah, I mean, most of the times we've in the past been working with buyers with no formal agreement, with the hopes that they're going to continue to use us as their agent. And we're going to work together to get them their home that they, are wanting to purchase. But now that particular conversation now is being put in a written formal agreement. So now everybody knows exactly what the other's responsibilities and duties to each other are. So
very nice.
So I think that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, I think that, this is, in most cases, these are going to be your single largest purchase that most people are going to have, right? You want to make sure that you're represented, and you want to have a clear understanding of what you're getting, right? What kind of services are going to be performed. You want to make sure that the agent that you're working with is going to be fully committed, okay? And vice versa. So I think, I think buyers are... And I'm hoping that buyers are better served because of this agreement. I do agree. Yeah. It's just, it's some more documents to already a mountain of paperwork that we have in our business, right?
Especially in California.
Right? So another thing is, you got buyers out there that are concerned about compensation, right? And how they're going to pay it. I mean, in some cases, and don't take my word for it here, okay? But in some cases, amongst people, it's always been the thought that agent compensation has largely always been paid for by the buyer in the form of the price of the home.
That's true. It depends on how you look at things.
Depends on how you look at it, right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, technically you are, you're right.
Okay, I know that there's going to be probably a lot of people within our audience here that has questions about, well, what if they don't have the money for buyer agent representation, or the seller is not, at the time the listing was taken, the seller wasn't prepared to pay any type of buyer compensation? I mean, surely there's got to be workarounds or solutions for something like that.
Solutions and negotiation. Everything's a negotiation in real estate. So, but working with your agent, you're going to craft an offer that will meet your needs. And again, it's a negotiation. So, you never know what the seller is going to do.
And it sounds like that every transaction is unique and different. And for those of you in the audience, if you have any concerns about, well, it's got to be this way or it's got to be that way, to Laura's point, everything is negotiable. And it's negotiable. Just, there is not a one-size-fits-all solution. So you want to reach out to the agent or reach out to Laura individually and see how we can get this, right? I mean, don't have any anxiety, folks, if you don't have that money set aside or you weren't planning on doing that. Because there are
lenders are now starting to rethink the rule of no, you can't roll in your buyer's compensation or your broker's compensation. So it's worth having a conversation so you understand all the ins and outs. And again, everything's a negotiation. So reach out to a professional to be able to help you. So working with a real estate professional is definitely the way to go. And so if you have any questions for me, go ahead and put them down in the comments, or you can reach out to me directly. I'd really appreciate just having a conversation so you have a little bit more understanding of the new rules. And last but not least, open house rules have changed. So when a real estate agent holds an open house, Each person visiting the property will now need to sign in on an open house visitor non-agency disclosure form. The sign-in spot will also have a place for the buyer's agent representing them to be placed. Remember that the agent holding the open house is working for the seller, and any information provided is to the benefit of the seller. So if a buyer wants to be represented by the open house agent, then they should enter into a property showing and representation agreement for that particular home, or the buyer representative broker compensation agreement to work with that agent exclusively for that home and any others they are interested in seeing. It's a lot to take in. And here are all the new forms to make sure your best interests are being honored. So work with a professional. All right, I think that's it that I have at the moment. I think we covered a lot of information. So thanks for being with me today. And we're just going to keep going.
We're going to keep going. I think, well, thank you very much for having me. That is a lot of information. You know, I'm sure as this new regulation or law makes its way through there's going to be a ton of content out there on social media as well as on websites giving some additional guidance. I think the main thing here that Laura's touching on is consult with a local professional, right? Reach out to Laura, reach out to me in the comments section, reach out to a neighborhood professional, someone who's doing this full time, that's just keeping up to date on current regulations. It's really easy. I don't want to call it easy. I think buyers have to be careful with what they're signing, and they have to have a good understanding of what they're, what some of this means. I would go as far as to say that if you're touring an open house or if you're touring things, you want to keep copies of these. I know, knowing Laura how she would be, if you stumble into an open house and you start engaging, one of the first questions that an agent is going to ask, and I wouldn't take any offense to this, is are you presently working with somebody and are you in a written agreement, right? There are rules and ethics here at play that maybe had blurrier lines earlier that are pretty sharp black and white today, right?
Right. Well, and the other thing with that too is you may be looking at a house that you're going to be moving to a particular area. So maybe your agent is going to be back in, wherever you're currently living at. So always have your agent reach out for a referral as well. So that way you have representation here while you're looking at homes, and your agent will also be compensated for the referral of receiving your information.
Sounds good. Shall we get to the open house? Shall we get to the home tour?
Let's do it.
Couldn't wait to get.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks for watching. Doug just took off. No. No, come back here for a minute.
Come back. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
So, hey, thanks for staying with us and taking a look at our video, watching it. Hope you get some good information out of it. If you need any more information, please reach out to me, make a comment in the comment section, or reach out directly. I'm always available to help you with any of your real estate needs. Okay, hope you are having a great day. And remember, I'm doing an open house, open house tour right now. So stay tuned. Bye. I think we covered a lot of information. So thanks for being with me today. And we're just going to keep going.
We're going to keep going. Sounds good. Shall we get to the open house? Shall we get to the home tour?
Let's do it.
Couldn't wait to get.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks for watching. Doug just took off. No.
Okay.
No, come back here for a minute.
Come back. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
So hey, thanks for staying with us and taking a look at our video, watching it. Hope you get some good information out of it. And remember, I'm doing an open house, open house tour right now.